When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment? Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all? When you start learning again? Or with a new role? Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank. Cord Life. One chance, one choice.
हाय एवरीबॉडी, अ वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग। आप सबका इस वेबिनार में स्वागत है। वेलकम, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस ऑन अ संडे मॉर्निंग। आई नो संडे इज अ लेजी डे, सब घर होते हैं और बहुत बिजी भी होते हैं और बस जैसे रिलैक्स करने का मूड होता है। लेकिन प्रेगनेंसी इज सच अ स्पेशल टाइम कि इसके बारे में सीखना, इसके बारे में जानना, इसके बारे में जो क्यूरियोसिटी है वो आई एम श्योर आपको यहाँ पर खींच लाई है। अगला जो 1 घंटा है हम आपको प्रेगनेंसी और प्रेगनेंसी के रिलेटेड काफी सारी चीजों के बारे में बताएंगे। सो प्लीज स्टे विद अस। ये वेबिनार अबाउट 1 आवर चलेगा। तो इसलिए अगर आपने अपना ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं किया है तो प्लीज जल्दी से जाके अपना ब्रेकफास्ट वगैरह ले आइए, वॉशरूम विजिट कर लीजिए। बस हम 1 मिनट में मैं अपने स्पेशल स्पीकर को इंट्रोड्यूस करूंगी एंड वी विल गेट स्टार्टेड राइट अवे। सो जस्ट 1 मिनट, मेक योरसेल्फ कंफर्टेबल, पिलोज वगैरह ले लीजिए, खाने के लिए कुछ ले लीजिए, पानी रख लीजिए साथ में, एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू गेट स्टार्टेड। ऑलराइट, सो वंडरफुल ममाज एंड पापाज, अगर आज भी कोई डैडीज भी हमारे साथ ज्वाइंट है तो वेरी वेरी वार्म वेलकम। मेरा नाम सोनाली है, सोनाली शिवलानी। मैं प्रेगनेंसी और पोस्ट नेटल कंसल्टेंट हूँ। प्रेगनेंसी के दौरान जो छोटे छोटे डूज एंड डोंट्स होते हैं, खाने पीने की चीजें, लेबर ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइजेस वगैरह, ये मेरा प्रोफेशन है। इसके अलावा ऑफ कोर्स आपके डॉक्टर्स भी हैं जो आपको हेल्प करते हैं विद ऑल द मेडिकल रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस। मेरा एक्सपीरियंस इस इंडस्ट्री में लास्ट 17 इयर्स से है। आई एम फ्रॉम मुंबई एंड आई हैव वर्कड विद मोर देन 40,000 फैमिलीज। सो आई एम अ स्टोरी टेलर, लेकिन मुझसे तो बाद में सुनेंगे। पहले मैं आपको वेबिनार के बारे में थोड़ा बता देती हूँ। अगर आप ध्यान रखेंगे तो आप सब म्यूट पे हैं, आप बोल नहीं सकते। लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप क्वेश्चंस नहीं पूछ सकते। तो आपके जो स्क्रीन पे एक क्वेश्चन बॉक्स है, आप अपने सारे क्वेश्चंस वेबिनार के दौरान उसमें डाल सकते हैं और वेबिनार बंद करने के पहले हम लास्ट 10 मिनट्स में आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस भी आंसर करेंगे। मेरे साथ आज एक बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट है, डॉक्टर रेणु सहगल। She is an obstetrician and gynecologist and she is associated with Artemis and Daffodils Hospital in Gurugram. मुझे पता है उनकी कोई इंट्रोडक्शन की जरूरत नहीं है, एंड आई एम श्योर कि आप सब उनको पहचानते हैं, आप सब उनसे प्यार करते हैं। आपने उन्हें बहुत मतलब आप अच्छे से मिले होंगे, लेकिन आजकल के पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे सारे लोग मास्क पहने रहते हैं तो आपने मैम को पहचाना भी नहीं होगा। लेकिन आज मैम आपके सामने सिंस वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग पे है, बिना मास्क के होंगी। So first time you can also see her and see her smiling face and get more reassured, right? ये वेबिनार आपके लिए ऑर्गेनाइज करवाया है कॉर्ड लाइफ ने। कॉर्ड लाइफ इंडिया की लीडिंग स्टेम सेल बैंक है एंड आई सल्यूट देम बिकॉज जैसे ही पेंडेमिक शुरू हुआ उन्होंने ये वेबिनार्स का कॉन्सेप्ट इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया एंड इससे सारे जो मदर्स थे दे बीन वेरी हैप्पी। हम 1 साल से ये वेबिनार्स कर रहे हैं। भले आप घर से बाहर ना निकल सकते हैं, आप सेफ रहते हैं घर पे, बट फिर भी आपको सारे नॉलेज क्लासेस वगैरह इस दौरान इस मीडियम में मिल रहे हैं। तो अब मैं ज्यादा नहीं बोलूंगी, मैं बाद में बोलूंगी, मेरा काम बाद में है। अभी मैं डॉक्टर रेणु को वेलकम करती हूँ। मैम, वेरी वेरी वार्म वेलकम, थैंक यू फॉर योर प्रेशियस टाइम एंड
थैंक यू सोनाली, थैंक्स।
मैम आपसे बात करेंगी ऑन कॉमन मिथ्स ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी एंड लेबर। ओवर टू यू मैम।
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you for the kind words, and I do welcome all of you on joining this webinar, and I do agree with Sonali कि दो चीजों पे कि एक तो pandemic में we have not been able to see each other's faces, and it is very distressing for an obstetrician as well as the patient. To not see a reassuring face, because most of the time we are now seeing the face of the patient only when she is in labor, and many times they don't even see our faces. In fact, one of my patients did tell me this, that ma'am, I had to Google you to actually see your face, which was very distressing, because you know, face and eyes and smiles, that is what all they want. They want that reassurance, they want that comfort level to begin. But I'm sorry, these are tough times and there are tough moments, so we have to all go with the flow and keep our social distancing and keep wearing our masks, and we have to also wear our masks properly so that you know, we are saved in this pandemic. And second point, which Sonali rightly said, I hope there are papas also sitting there and they are equally involved. I also want them to be equally involved always, because I feel that it is long now, it is not the time when girls used to be pregnant or women used to be pregnant. It's now the family which is pregnant, and all of them are together in this. So if you are together, you are together better parents, and you are together a better couple. The pregnancy makes you come closer if you both are involved in it, I feel. So yes, Cord Life has given us an opportunity, and this opportunity, because we do, I do discuss topics which are of interest or of information, but this is something I have not done before. जो मैं हमेशा करना चाहती हूँ कि ऐसी चीजें जो बहुत दिनों से सुनते आए हैं और शायद वो ठीक है या नहीं है, हमें पता नहीं. So people are sometimes very overwhelmed with knowledge, especially the first time mothers. उनको सब कोई advice करते हैं. Everybody is ready to give advice. Everything in India is free, is welcome. So the advice is on top of the list. So everybody is free to give advice. Everybody is an expert on something or the other. What I want you to know is some few facts which you should know regarding your pregnancy, and not listen to the myths. What are they? So, not taking much time, we will start with some myths, and it's a very common myths about pregnancy and labor, and I will quickly go through the myths and whether there is any fact in that, or whether they are myths. So the first slide. So the first slide, obviously we're thinking, if I'm pregnant, should I be eating for two? Now the fact is that no, when you are pregnant, you don't need to eat for two, because you don't need to eat for two. You only need to eat like what you were eating in the first trimester. So fact is that we don't need to eat for two, and we only need additional 300 to 500 calories in a day, and that too towards the second half of the pregnancy. That means 5 months onwards you will be needing additional 500 kilocalories. And if you start eating from the beginning of the pregnancy, the only thing that will happen is you will gain weight and the baby is not going to gain much. There are many myths about eating, so we will be busting them one by one, I think, in this. Second one. This is another myth, that eating peanuts can make your baby allergic to them. Not only peanuts or some other nuts, that if you are eating them in the pregnancy, your baby is going to develop an allergic tendency. No, the evidence suggests that that is not true. What is true is that they are, highly nutritious. They have some very good nutritional content, and they prevent many diseases. So you should be eating. The peanuts are very high in protein content. You should be eating them. You should only avoid them if you are allergic to them. There is no need to avoid them if you are not allergic, and eating them will not make the baby allergic. You again, a myth that you can't eat cheese or seafood. Cheese has high quality of calcium, and fish is the best source of omega-3 and DHA, which is good for baby's bones, baby's brain development, neurological development. What we have to do is we have to avoid unpasteurized cheese, जो usually हमारे country में available नहीं होता, but outside it is available. There are some soft cheese which are unpasteurized and are made de novo, so the people should avoid that. And we always tell the patients to avoid high mercury containing fish, and those are the shark, mackerel, जो हमारी country में हम नहीं खाते. So by all means, go ahead and have your fish. It's very good, very healthy. That is why Japanese have the highest, IQ levels in the world. So fish, definitely yes. Cheese, definitely yes. This is one more myth, that travel, we should have bed rest and we should not travel in pregnancy because it may lead to miscarriage, or it may have we may have some problems with the travel. No, that is not true. What happens is that it is completely safe to travel by road, by air, or by train in most of the cases of pregnancy, except there are few rare cases when you have had bleeding during pregnancy, when the obstetrician may tell you not to travel, or you may have a low-lying placenta. When the placenta is low, there is a tendency to bleed. That is the time when we tell you to avoid, traveling. And the best time to travel is before 32 to 34 weeks, because at that time, there are very, very less chances that you may go in labor or the labor may be triggered. And also, you can very safely drive. You can very, very safely drive if you are pregnant. There is no need of you not driving. I used to drive to my hospital up to the day I had my cesarean section in my pregnancy. I drove to my cesarean section, actually. Okay. Another myth. We can tell, these are all grandmas. I mean, even my mother-in-law will say that. Oh, अरे इसका baby तो बेटा ही होगा. मैंने देख के बता दिया तुमको. अब let me tell you, there is nobody, an obstetrician cannot tell you. We have never been taught to know how you can determine the sex of the baby by just looking at the mother's belly. Whether baby ऊपर है तो लड़की होगी, नीचे है तो लड़का होगा. अगर तुम आगे से तुम्हारा पेट बड़ा है तो लड़का होगा, पीछे से बड़ा है तो लड़की होगी. These are all myths. And even baby's heart rate, is no indicator. There is a myth that अगर heart rate 160 से ज्यादा है तो लड़की होगी, कम है तो लड़का होगा. There is a myth कि अगर stretch marks या लीनिया नाइग्रा, जिसको हम जो मेन अम्बिलिकस से नीचे एक डार्क लाइन होती है प्रेगनेंसी में, अगर वो बहुत डार्क है तो लड़का होगा. No, these are all myths. Nobody can predict the sex of the baby by looking at the mother. Only way to predict the sex is by ultrasound, and that too is banned in our country. Yes, these are many patients come to us asking this question कि मैम मैं pregnant हूँ तो hair dye कर सकती हूँ, color कर सकती हूँ, can I take a hot bath? Yes, it is perfectly safe to have warm baths in pregnancy. But you should be avoiding spas, saunas, because they raise your body temperature. उससे बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है. Overheating हो सकता है, dehydration हो सकता है, fainting हो सकता है, hyponatremia या sodium कम हो सकता है. So these are things that can harm the baby. So you can have a warm bath at your home, which is very welcome, no problems. But you should be avoiding saunas and, very hot spa baths. And yes, about the dyes, there is very low level of chemical in the dyes, that are available in the market or that are taken in your salon. If what I can tell you is you can color your hair maybe, infrequently, and maybe you can avoid them in the first trimester if you want to be totally safe. But ऐसा कुछ अभी तक ऐसा आया नहीं है कि कहीं कोई chemicals, absorb होके baby को कोई effect करते हैं, because the amount of chemicals in the hair dyes is really less, and for them to absorb through skin and come to the bloodstream and then go to the baby, the chances are very less. But you can avoid in first trimester, but otherwise there is no need for you to not feel good, not look beautiful when you are pregnant. Okay. About exercise, there are two myths. One is that you should exercise when you get pregnant, and another is that you shouldn't exercise when you are pregnant. Now, there are two kinds of people. There are people who are dedicated exercise doers, or fitness freaks who are doing rigorous exercises throughout their life, and then when they become pregnant, somebody scares them. अरे ये मत करो, इससे बच्चे को नुकसान हो जाएगा, तुम बहुत ज्यादा जॉगिंग कर रही हो, तुम बहुत ज्यादा ट्रेडमिल कर रही हो, बहुत ज्यादा वेट्स मत उठाओ. So they have these questions. So for them, those who are regularly exercising, being very vigorous with their exercises, my advice to them is that you can continue your exercises, but don't go overboard. Avoid any exercises which can trip you, which can have the risk of fall, like treadmills, like cycles. Cycling also is fine, but don't go overboard. Like, don't go fast cycling or something, or running very fast. You can jog a little, it's fine. And some weightlifting is a big no-no in pregnancy, because that can increase the pelvic pressure. Again, those Pilates and those squats and all should be avoided in the early trimesters, because they can give you pelvic pressure and can lead to preterm labor. To those who have never exercised in life, don't start with all the exercises in the first trimester. Suddenly you have that fad कि oh अब तो मुझे exercise करनी है because अब तो मुझे normal delivery चाहिए. Go slow. Please do exercise. Most of the exercises you did before pregnancy are safe if you are doing it after. Don't start vigorous exercises suddenly. Go slow, step up, do your exercises. You can do an exercise of about 20 to 30 minutes, 4 to 5 times in a week, which is absolutely safe. Another this thing is that I should be gaining only about 9 to 11 kg weight in the pregnancy. Ma'am, 9 kg नहीं हुआ. Ma'am, 11 kg से ज़्यादा हो गया. Ma'am, अभी मुझे 2 महीने हो गए और मैंने weight gain नहीं किया. So these are the questions that come to us. And this is true for an average sized weight and height patient. But there is no one size fits all. If your pre-pregnancy BMI is less than 18, if you are one of those thin-built, very dainty-built ladies, you should be aiming at the top end, maybe 11 to 14 kgs weight gain in pregnancy. But if your BMI is over 25, your weight gain should be limited to 7 to 8 kgs. You should be gaining less weight. So that is how it progresses. That is how it is. And having said that, there is not much you can do in pregnancy to avoid gaining that weight, except that you should not be eating junk food, or you should not be going overboard with your eating. Because some people will gain about 20-25 kg without doing anything, because of the water retention, because of other problems they may have. They may have hypertension, they may have diabetes, they may have hypothyroidism, and which may lead to more weight gain. And there are some who would have repeated vomitings and may not gain weight, but those are the ones we are concerned about. So you should be able to eat right, eat in the right proportion, and the baby should be growing well. So if the baby is growing well, you are able to eat. Don't stick to the 9 to 11 deadline. Okay. Morning sickness. We all know. Morning sickness hai. So you expect morning sickness to come in the morning. No, it doesn't happen that way. Some people will have afternoon sickness, some will have evening sickness, and some will even have night sickness. Morning sickness is the name given because it usually comes in the morning. Usually is the word. You may have nausea, you may have altered taste, you may have vomiting in the morning, or you may be just spitting lot of saliva in the morning when you get up. So this can come any time of the day. It's because of the hormone changes in your body. And usually about 95% of females will see improvement beyond their 3rd month of pregnancy, and the nausea may then return maybe towards the end of pregnancy, 34 weeks, when the baby becomes very big and occupies most of your belly, and the stomach doesn't have much space to expand. And there is also a myth that if I have heartburn or acidity, that means the baby is going to be born with a lot of hair. Well, the baby's hair has nothing to do with it. The heartburn is also because of the acid reflux caused by the hormones of the pregnancy. Some people may experience it more, some may experience it less, but baby's hair has definitely nothing to do. Many questions regarding pets. People will come to us, is it okay for us to handle pets, because I have a dog or a cat at home, and should I be taking them out? Should I be handling them? What are the what should I do? Because they say that, oh, you should not handle any pets, you may get diseases which may harm the baby. Well, it is partially true, in the sense that if you have a cat and if you handle the cat's litter, that is cat's poo, then it may, if you handle it with your hands, it may cause toxoplasmosis, which is actually harmful in the pregnancy. But on the other hand, pets can be a source of great joy. They can be real stress busters in pregnancy. So what is my advice? My advice is, please continue to pet them. Please continue to fondle them. And you can keep the pets. The only thing that you have to do is either ask somebody else to take them out for litter and give them a shower frequently, so that there is no litter, it doesn't remain attached to them. And if you have to handle them, wear a gloves. A myth is there that you can avoid stretch marks. There are so many, you don't have, if you don't scratch your abdomen, you will not have stretch marks. If you keep applying oils, you will not have stretch marks. If the baby is a girl, you will not have stretch marks. If you do this and that, you will not have stretch marks. If you drink coconut water, you will not have stretch marks. There are so many. The truth is that there is no evidence that any cream or oil or any drink or scratching on the abdomen can make you avoid those stretch marks. The stretch marks come depending on the stretchability and elasticity of your skin. If there are enough elastic fibers under your skin, the skin will stretch and you will have less stretch marks. If the elastic fibers are less, which is genetic, which is based on your own body profile, then you will have more stretch marks. And the best thing is that these stretch marks do fade over time. Over the 6 months, you will see that there are hardly any left on your abdomen. And you can get rid of them by simple cosmetic measures later on. Okay, important question. Everyone asks that they are told that you should not be intimate, you should not have intercourse while you are pregnant. Well, the fact is that no, it is not true. You can be intimate with your partner. It increases the bonding. You can have sex whenever you want. Never hesitate to talk to your doctor if you have any concerns. The only time we actually tell patients to not have intercourse is if they are bleeding, they have low placenta, or they have a cervical weakness, that the cervix, that's the lowermost part of the body, of the uterus, is a little weak. We have history of recurrent abortions in second half of the pregnancy. That is the time when you need to abstain. Otherwise, it is very safe to have an intimate relation till the time you are comfortable in your pregnancy. Okay, this one is for coffee lovers over there. They say that it's not safe to drink coffee. All the South Indians in the first visit will come and tell me, ma'am, should I give up my coffee? No. And especially those who are workaholics. Yes, you have to limit your quantity of caffeine that you take in a day to about 200 milligrams. Well, that 200 milligrams is about 2 to 3 cups of normal average coffee that we Indians take, or a large Starbucks cold coffee shake, the large one that they have. That should be your limit of the day, and rest you can have that. Otherwise, chocolates also, because chocolates also contain caffeine. But the chocolates contain caffeine in a very small amount, so you can indulge in them in moderation, but avoid them if your pregnancy is complicated with diabetes. Okay, this is the master of all of them. Eating ghee to lubricate the birth passage and facilitate a quick delivery. All of us are overwhelmed with those gond ke laddu and ghee, and especially drinking doodh and ghee when you've gone into labor and are going to the hospital. Well, you know how this myth started is that people used to give them a lot of ghee to drink, so that ghee lubricates the alimentary canal and starts contractions. You start having loose stools, or it works like an enema or a castor oil that olden days we used to give. So if the loose motion start, then the uterine contraction start, and then you can induce labor. So that is how it all started. But let me tell you a fact. Ghee has this lubrication has nothing to do with the uterine canal. The passages are totally different and far from each other. So the ghee doesn't reach your uterus, and it doesn't do anything to your uterus. It doesn't lubricate the birth canal, because the birth canal and the alimentary canal are two different sites altogether. There is no connection between them. In fact, the reverse is true. If you eat these foods in the last trimester of the pregnancy, eating a lot of ghee can, actually give you a lot of fat, and then if the fat deposit is more, the normal delivery is mostly difficult. If you grow in your weight, normal deliveries are usually difficult. Secondly, drinking this ghee and all can induce vomitings, and because they are huge, heavy foods. And then if you have to do a cesarean section, you may land up with an aspiration pneumonia. And thirdly, if you have gone to the hospital drinking doodh and ghee, then also it is difficult for you. You may continue to vomit throughout your labor. So my advice to you, ghee in moderation. Ghee in roti, chapati is fine, but drinking ghee and doodh is a big no-no. Exercises in the last months of pregnancy are much more helpful than eating ghee or eating those laddus. Another myth that people they're actually very scared once their ultrasound is done, and they panic and they say, oh ma'am, there is a cord around the baby's neck, and now, oh, it is very harmful to the baby and you will have to do a cesarean right now. What I want to tell you that, no, yes, we may tell you to be a little more careful with your baby movements, but it's very rare to have any cord accidents with one loop of cord around the baby, and baby keeps on moving. It can wrap up the cord in its hand, in foot, and leg, in neck, anywhere, and then it can detangle itself, and then it can, keep moving. As long as you're not in labor, usually the risk is very, 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 very minuscule. And because the baby is protected with the Liker, there is a bounce effect, there is buoyancy, the cord doesn't tighten around the neck. What happens is, in labor, sometimes, and that too not always, a single loop of cord around the neck doesn't warrant a cesarean section. There may be other indications of doing a cesarean. A single loop, usually we have seen that 90% of these mothers will deliver normally without any problems. In 10% cases, if the cord is very tight, if the cord is very short, then when you go in labor and the baby's heart rate fluctuates, then the doctor may have to take you up for a cesarean section, and that is that. Yes, if you have two loops, then the risk does increase exponentially, and then a doctor may want to discuss your mode of delivery with you, and you may have to go for an option of cesarean. But one loop, please relax, don't panic. Okay, this is for first time mothers and aajkal ke khaskar pampered, protected girls who have not faced the world, who have been protected by mamas and then their in-laws and their husbands. they feel, oh, I will not be able to bear the pain of childbirth. It is excruciating. It is totally unbearable. I don't have a pain threshold. You will be surprised to know that you don't actually know what your threshold is till you are actually in labor. And most of the people, 99% of the women will be able to go through natural labors uneventfully. You see, all our mothers and grandmothers and aunties have gone through them. If they can do it, you can do. You have to have the right amount of preparation, physical, emotional, mental, to help you cope with this. If you have had classes, if you have had lessons, if you know what you're going to go into, if you know the right breathing techniques, it helps you to enable and control pains. Positive mindset is what helps you most. You can always ask for pain relief measures. All the hospitals these days have them if you feel that you are not able to bear the pain. But being scared of pain is not a reason why you should go for a cesarean section. Okay. The other myth that if you don't eat well in the first 3 months of pregnancy, the baby will be affected. The fact is that in first 3 months, you are coping with nausea, with vomiting, with, altered taste. And in the first 3 months, you don't have to struggle much with the right nutrition kind of thing. You eat small quantities, avoid highly spiced up food or highly oily or highly sour or highly sweet food, because that way induce more vomiting. It is not harmful to avoid milk if that is giving you vomiting in the first trimester. Once your appetite returns to normal, you can start eating nutritiously. But in the first trimester, you just have to concentrate on eating and whatever you are able to keep down, whatever you are able to retain. First 3 months nutrition is not the key to the baby's nutrition. Okay, this one more myth about papayas and pineapples. Though we also tell the patients not to eat, there is a reason. Fact is that a normal consumption of a ripe papaya during pregnancy does not pose any risk. They are good sources of vitamin A, and that goes the same goes with pineapples. It is only the unripe papaya which has some element called chymopepin, and pineapple which has some bromelain, and that too when it is consumed in a large quantity. If you are having one slice of pineapple, it will not cause uterine contraction. Having said that, you can avoid them in the first 3 months because you don't want any contractions to come in, but it is absolutely okay to eat a ripe papaya or a pineapple in small quantities. Oh, this is a nut. Consuming coconut in pregnancy. If you consume coconut in pregnancy, you will have uterine contractions. Your uterus will become hard. Baby will have lots of hair. You will have lots of hair on the body. If you drink coconut water or saffron milk, your baby will become, suddenly it will become a Gora baby, and that too to an obsessed nation which is obsessed with fairness. That is one obsession that all Indians have. No, sorry, it is a big myth. Please have your coconut water, but that is not going to make your baby fairer or light-skinned or anything. Your genetics, genes is going to determine how your baby looks like. Yes, well, this also takes the cake. Mothers become paranoid as soon as there is an eclipse in your pregnancy. बाहर मत जाना, खाना मत, एक जगह बैठो, कैंची मत उठाना, चाकू मत उठाना, क्लेफ्ट लिप हो जाएगा, क्लेफ्ट पैलेट हो जाएगा, बेबी का होठ कटा हुआ होएगा, बेबी महंगा होएगा. Oh my God, there are so many myths. Fact is that there is no scientific reason to this. There is no evidence that eclipse can affect your baby in any way, or you doing anything during the eclipse can affect you in any way. In olden times, in ancient days, people used to think of eclipses as calamities. They used to think that Bhagwan ji नाराज हो गए इसलिए सूरज को या चंद्रमा को ग्रहण लग गया है. So they used to pray, sit and pray at that time. So that is what led to all these myths, and the pregnant women are also made to sit and pray. अब बाकी जगह ने तो छोड़ दिया, लेकिन प्रेग्नेंट विमेन के सर पे ये आ गया कि भाई उनको एक कमरे में बंद कर दो और खाना पीना मत दो. No, please, there is no need to do this. The eclipse is not going to affect your pregnancy in any way. Thank you. I think I dealt whatever I usually get across, like whatever my patients ask me. If you have any other queries, I am more than willing to answer them.
Thank you so much, Renu ma'am. That was highly informative and very, very helpful. I'm sure all the mothers have learnt a lot.
I think, Sonali, you must be dealing with these questions also in your, pregnancy counseling sessions. You must be all aware of this.
Yeah. It is something which is like, we always smile when mothers ask these questions.
Mothers ask these questions, yes.
Right. All right. So, great. Let's try to kind of, do a little bit on the next topic that I thought would be interesting for mothers on this Sunday morning. We will talk to you today a little bit about diet, because diet also brings some myths and misconceptions, right? So, just for a brief introduction, as I've already given I'm going to start talking to you about your nutrition, healthy pregnancy के लिए. जो खाना पीना होता है प्रेगनेंसी में, आप अगर जो खाते हैं, आपके जो हेल्दी ईटिंग हैबिट्स है, वो सिर्फ आपके लिए नहीं, आपके बेबी के लिए नहीं, बट आपके पूरे फैमिली को काम आते हैं. आखिर अगर मदर सही खाती है तो बेबी और फैमिली को भी सही पोषण मिलता है. बेबी के जहन में अगर देखा जाए तो जनरली मदर्स बोलते हैं कि बेबी के लिए बिल्कुल सही है, पर लेकिन कैसे सही है? पहली बात, बेबी की जो पूरी डेवलपमेंट है, फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट, जैसे हार्ट, लंग्स, किडनी, सारे ऑर्गन्स, पूरी बॉडी अंदर आपके वूम में बन जाती है. एंड इसके अलावा ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट भी बोलते हैं, इट्स अ वेरी ट्रू फैक्ट दैट द ब्रेन गेट्स फुली फॉर्म्ड. जो बेबी का ब्रेन होता है एट फुल टर्म इज द सेम साइज एज एन अडल्ट ब्रेन. उसके बाद उसमें लर्निंग होती है, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट इशू, बट जो डेवलपमेंट है, जो ग्रोथ है, वो हमको इन द वूम करनी है. बच्चे का जो बर्थ वेट है वो भी सही होना बहुत जरूरी है. द बेबी इज टू स्मॉल, देन आपको NICU वगैरह की जरूरत पड़ेगी. द बेबी इज टू लार्ज, देन यू माइट हैव अ डिफिकल्टी इन डिलीवरिंग द बेबी. सो दिस ऑल्सो कैन बी हेल्प्ड ग्रेटली विद फॉलोइंग अ गुड डाइट. मदर्स के लिए तो ऑब्वियसली देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ बेनिफिट्स, बिकॉज आपके हार्मोन्स मैनेज रहते हैं, आपकी प्रेगनेंसी में कॉम्प्लिकेशंस आर रिड्यूस्ड, सो आपकी प्रेगनेंसी हेल्दी और सेफ रहती है. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ये भी हो जाता है कि आपका जो प्रेगनेंसी के ड्यूरेशन में वेट गेन होता है वो बिल्कुल सही है. मैम हैज spoken so much about the wrong things like ghee etc. All of these things just make you gain weight, but eating the right foods, it's not a license कि now I'm double so I must eat double, right? Delivery भी आपकी सही वक्त पे होती है. I have a very simple example which I share with my mothers that अगर हम कहीं घूमने जाते हैं and we have a very nice hotel and we have lot of luxury and services, we enjoy that place, right? But if the hotel is not good, if the hotel is dirty, we don't like to stay there. So you think about it like this, that your womb is the hotel for the baby. And if the environment is good, the ambience is perfect, the baby will stay inside for the required duration. So आपकी जो delivery है वो सही समय पे होगी. And pain जो होता है लेबर में, we can't avoid it, वो तो होना है, that is the birth process, all mammals go through it. But लेकिन जो अगर हमारी body prepared रहती है, so we can manage it better. So the entire experience of the delivery is much more positive. About 300 extra calories is required and breastfeeding के time पे around 500, and this depends actually on your initial pregnancy weight. अगर आप underweight है तो you might need more calories. अगर आप overweight है तो you might need slightly lesser calories. So this your doctor will guide you, but on an average ये जो calories है, this totals up to 2 rotis. Now I'm not talking about a nice big fat Punjabi paratha. We're talking about 2 normal rotis, 1 bowl of vegetable and 1 glass of milk. This will account for a total of 300 extra calories in a period of 24 hours. Most people know what is healthy. I mean, if I ask you salad, you'll say yes. If I ask you chocolate cake, you'll say no. If I say chaat, you'll probably say no. And if I say fruits, you'll say yes. So we know what is healthy. But what is important is that we have to balance our meals. We should eat all the different food groups. We should not focus on only on one thing. Many times I get mothers who will tell me that, oh, but I eat roti sabzi for lunch and roti sabzi for dinner. And then maybe she had poha for breakfast. And then she had, maybe tea and some fruit in the evening for her evening snack and coconut water in the mid morning. She did not have anything which was really unhealthy. But she has not had enough calcium and she has not had enough proteins in her diet. So we'll start with carbohydrates, which are all your grains. So your roti, rice, upma, poha, idli, dosa, all of this will come here. Very important that you choose unrefined portions. Try and avoid white rice and maida because ये refined grains हैं, इसमें empty calories हैं. दूसरे grains आप पूरी variety में ले सकते हैं. सिर्फ wheat और brown rice पे ना अटके. Try to take your jawar, bajra, oats, nachni, all the different grains that are available. एंड मिनिमम आपके होने चाहिए 6 सर्विंग्स इन अ डे. सो जैसे हो जाता ना, 2 ब्रेकफास्ट में ले लिए, 2 लंच में ले लिए, 2 डिनर में ले लिए. एंड अगर फिर अगर कहीं शाम के टाइम पे थोड़ी भूख वगैरह है तो 1-2 सर्विंग्स वहां पर भी आप ले सकते हैं. फ्रूट्स और वेजिटेबल्स में बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप वाइड वैरायटी ले. आई नो अभी मैंगो सीजन है, सो वी ऑल वांट टू ईट ओनली मैंगोज, बट वी शुड नॉट डू दैट. वी शुड हैव अ वाइड वैरायटी ऑफ आवर फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Also, आपको seasonal लेने हैं. Like, don't try to eat mangoes in the month of November and December, and don't try to eat strawberries in the month of May because that is not seasonal, right? So we should do what is seasonal. We should take a variety of colors, and minimum in a day, every pregnant mother should eat about 500 grams. So 200 grams of fruits and 300 grams of vegetables to complete her requirement of vitamins and minerals during pregnancy. प्रोटीन्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसको हम बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक ऑफ सेल्स बोलते हैं. ये आपके बेबी के फिजिकल और मेंटल ग्रोथ के लिए बहुत ही अहम है, इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो अगर आपको स्मार्ट बेबी बनाना है तो प्लीज डू नॉट इग्नोर योर प्रोटीन्स. आपका मिनिमम कंजम्पशन इज 75 ग्राम्स. आपको एक सिंपल लॉजिक बता देती हूँ. वन सिंगल एग इज ओनली 6 grams. So you can imagine कि how little protein we end up eating. If we have a bowl of dal, we may get 6 to 8 grams. So you can't have 10 bowls of dal every day if you're a vegetarian. That means you have to have a variety. So every time you eat, make sure that you have something from protein. So it could be some nuts, it could be some seeds. Your main meals like your breakfast, lunch and dinner should have protein in it. You can have sprouts or paneer for your mid-evening snacks. So that is how you complete your requirement of protein in a day. Calcium, I think all pregnant mothers, breastfeeding mothers are constantly told that, दूध पियो, बच्चों की हड्डी के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. Yes, we understand that is normal, but लेकिन उसके अलावा, besides bone, teeth and etc., you also have development of the muscle and nervous system. आपकी जो requirement है, it stands at about 600 ml of milk or milk products. So जब आप ये 600 ml of milk or milk products लेते हैं, we are going to consume the calcium requirement. अब इसमें होता ये है that डॉक्टर ने कैल्शियम की गोली दी है, so we say okay, we can skip this, but that is not true. The calcium का गोली doesn't compensate for the fresh milk that you're having or the fresh dairy products that you're having. You don't need to have full fat milk. राइट. जो फुल फैट मिल्क और स्किम्ड मिल्क होता है उसमें न्यूट्रिएंट लेवल सेम रहता है एक्सेप्टिंग द फैट कंटेंट. सो वी डोंट वांट यू टू हैव टू मच ऑफ फैट. जो बेसिक खाने में पड़ता है दैट मच इज मोर देन इनफ. अभी ये हमारा फेवरेट होता है, राइट? फैट्स, ऑयल्स एंड स्वीट्स. वी लाइक टू काइंड ऑफ इंडल्ज इन ऑल दिस, एंड खास करके व्हेन यू आर प्रेग्नेंट इट जस्ट बिकम्स लाइक लाइसेंस मिल गया, अभी सब खा लो. अभी डिजर्ट खाने का मन हो रहा है तो खा लो, कुछ फ्राइड खाने का मन हो रहा है तो खा लो, एंड एवरीबडी आपको खिला भी देते हैं बिकॉज आपके अभी 2 दिल हैं तो सब पूरी कर दी है इच्छाएं. दैट इज हाउ इट गोज. बट ये जितना आप कम लें उतना अच्छा. ऑल्सो अनसैचुरेटेड फैट्स आर बेटर. तो जो वेजिटेबल ऑयल्स हैं, जो घी वगैरह है, ये सैचुरेटेड फैट्स है. तो इससे अलावा आप जैसे राइस ब्रान ऑयल, कैनोला ऑयल, ऑलिव ऑयल, नट्स, सीड्स, इन सब चीजों से अगर आप अपने फैट कंटेंट को कंप्लीट करते हैं, सो इट इज ऑलवेज हाईली रेकमेंडेड. अभी फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर में जनरली एक्स्ट्रा कैलोरीज आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. यहाँ पे there is nausea. You might be feeling like vomiting. You don't feel like eating. So it's making you uncomfortable. You have to ensure that you have enough water because you have to stay well hydrated. Because of the nausea, because if you're vomiting, your body is losing all the fluids. Oily or spicy food avoid kare. Have small meals and simple carbohydrates. You know, like roti, whole wheat bread. So ये आपके स्टमक को सेटल करने में जरूर हेल्प करेगा. अगर आपका nausea is so bad that you're not able to eat or drink anything, please let your doctor know because आपका कोई pregnancy condition होगा like hyperemesis gravidarum, जिससे you are just not able to retain food and that is not good for you and your pregnancy. In the first trimester, folic acid or multivitamin आपके doctor will prescribe for you. You must take that. These are going to help your pregnancy and it will also help to prevent the neural tube defects जो बहुत common हो जाता है right in the very beginning. अब second trimester को हम comfortable trimester भी बोलते हैं because इसमें nausea is gone, tiredness is gone, your energy levels are back, you settled into your pregnancy. But यहाँ पर इसका मतलब ये नहीं है that I can eat everything, right? I am feeling fine, so now bring on all the fancy foods and etc. But please eat sensible so that you do not gain excess weight. सारे food groups लेने हैं और मैम ने myths तो बहुत ही beautifully cover किए हैं, so I won't really dwell on it, but stay away from all those myths. You know, I had one client who wanted to eat something white every morning because she thought ये खाने से I'm going to have a fair baby. That is a complete myth. Please don't do that. अब थर्ड ट्राइमेस्टर में बेबी का ग्रोथ बहुत ही रैपिड है, सो यहाँ पे गुड क्वालिटी प्रोटीन्स, हेल्दी कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स ये आपको इंक्लूड करने चाहिए आपके डाइट में. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड आयरन लेवल्स भी कम हो जाते हैं तो आयरन रिच फूड्स आप सही मात्रा में यू शुड स्टार्ट टेकिंग. ओमेगा 3 अगर आपके डॉक्टर ने सप्लीमेंट प्रिस्क्राइब किया है प्लीज डू टेक इट. बट उसके अलावा जैसे फिश है, वॉलनट्स है, ये सारे आप इंक्रीज क्वांटिटी में ले सकते हैं बिकॉज दे विल इंक्रीज योर इनटेक ऑफ ओमेगा 3. आपकी एपेटाइट इज गोइंग टू बी लेसर बिकॉज द यूट्रस इज नाउ बिगर, तो स्टमक को जगह नहीं है भरने के लिए, तो इसीलिए यू हैव टू बी मोर पर्टिकुलर दैट आप न्यूट्रिएंट डेंस फूड्स लें. Don't try to take like empty calories because उससे when your stomach is full you will not be able to eat the right nutrition food. प्रेगनेंसी के कुछ सुपर फूड्स हैं विच आई हाईली रेकमेंड एंड ये आप अपने डाइट में ऑन अ डेली बेसिस इनकॉर्पोरेट करने की जरूर कोशिश करें. पोटैटोज के बदले में स्विच ओवर टू स्वीट पोटैटोज. दे आर वेरी रिच इन न्यूट्रिएंट्स. अगर आप नॉनवेज लेते हो तो एग्स वगैरह आप ले सकते हैं. एग्स का याद ये रखना है कि येलो आप सिर्फ दिन में एक ही लें एंड मैक्सिमम यू शुड ट्राई टू टेक मोर ऑफ एग व्हाइट्स. Green leafy vegetables for iron, folic acid, other B group vitamins. Proteins में pulses, legumes जैसे छोला, राजमा, बटाना and lean meat. मतलब जैसे चिकन का आपको स्किन निकाल के खाना है, you trim the fat from the chicken. Berries अगर सीजन में है तो fresh berries, अगर सीजन में ना है तो you can definitely have some dried berries also. बहुत मिलते हैं मार्केट में. Read the label ताकि उसमें आपको ज्यादा शुगर वगैरह का कंटेंट ना हो. होल ग्रेन्स, एवोकाडोज अगर आप चूज कर सकते हैं, अगर आप समझ सकते हैं एवोकाडोज को, तो these are a superfood and having half an avocado, maybe one avocado every 2-3 days can be very helpful. And dry fruits, nuts, seeds, these are very good for snacking in between and they give you lot of support in satiating the hunger pangs. पानी आपको बहुत पीना है. 10 to 12 glasses is what we recommend. इससे आपका amniotic fluid levels maintain होता है, digestion is proper and you stay well hydrated. So it's very important. Salt has to be very little. Avoid processed foods because उसमें salt वगैरह बहुत आ जाता है. Packaged foods जो होते हैं, जहां पर भी best before date होती है, expiration date होती है, that you should completely avoid because उसमें salt is in a high quantity. जो थोड़ा आपके खाने में है, whatever little bit is there, that is perfectly all right. You have no problems. You can have that. Supplements cannot be skipped. अगर कोई supplement आपको सूट नहीं कर रही है, so please let your doctor know and ask for an alternative. Because you can't अगर आपको iron से vomiting हो रही है तो बस iron लेना बंद कर दिया. That should not happen. We have very short time to make the perfect baby and we don't want to lose any opportunity. ये कुछ फूड्स है जो आपको अवॉइड करने चाहिए. मैम ने ऑलरेडी काफी सारे कवर किए हैं, तो वी विल नॉट डिस्कस दैट इन अ लॉट ऑफ डिटेल, बट जस्ट कीप दिस लिस्ट इन माइंड कि आपको ये कुछ फूड्स हैं जो अगर आप प्रेगनेंसी में अवॉइड करें तो इट विल कीप योर प्रेगनेंसी मच मोर सेफर. ये भी कुछ कंट्रोवर्शियल फूड्स हैं, एंड अगेन मैम हैज डिस्कस्ड दिस इन अ लॉट ऑफ डिटेल, so I'm going to just keep this as a slide. I did not want to remove it from my regular dish, but you know generally ये होता है कि डेट्स गर्म होते हैं, काले होते हैं, घी से बेबी की डिलीवरी जल्दी हो जाती है. It doesn't happen. I've had I'm a mother. I have 2 children. एंड मेरे दोनों डिलीवरीज नॉर्मल डिलीवरी हुए थे, 2 घंटे के अंदर बेबीज बाहर आ गए थे. मैंने घी नहीं खाया था, मैं पॉजिटिव रही थी, मैं हैप्पी रही थी, मैंने अपना फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड पॉजिटिव रखा था, एंड आई थिंक दैट वाज द बिगेस्ट कंट्रीब्यूटर, right? So I used to eat healthy. I had permission to exercise throughout my pregnancy, and I was a very positive person. I'm still a very positive person. In fact, मैं सबको यही बोलती हूँ कि मेरा तो blood group ही B positive है. So there is no way that I'm going to become negative on this entire thing. Iron levels is always a problem. So इनको अगर आपको बढ़ाना है तो आपको ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि hemoglobin is a combination of 2 things, heme and globulin. And हेम माने कि आयरन और ग्लोब्यूलिन प्रोटीन होता है. So generally मदर्स ये बोलते हैं ना, भाई चलो हम पालक इतनी खा रहे हैं, मेरी पोमोग्रेनेट खा रहे हैं, हम बीटरूट का जूस पी रहे हैं, बट फिर भी आयरन लेवल्स नहीं बढ़ रहे. लेकिन क्या आप इनफ प्रोटीन ले रहे हो? सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो मेक अ मिक्स ऑफ हेम एंड ग्लोब्यूलिन, iron and protein rich foods that will help you to increase your hemoglobin levels. Iron supplements ना छोड़ें. जब भी आप आयरन रिच फूड्स लेते हैं तो थोड़ा सा विटामिन सी के साथ ले लें, राइट? सो अगर पालक बनाई है तो उसमें नींबू का रस डाल दीजिए थोड़ा सा सर्व करने के टाइम पे. सो दैट विल हेल्प योर बॉडी टू अब्सॉर्ब मोर ऑफ द विटामिन सी. डिलीवरी के बाद भी ये सारी चीजें बहुत मायने रखती हैं, बिकॉज अगेन यू नो सारे घी के लड्डू वगैरह बाहर आ जाते हैं. कई फैमिलीज में तो मैंने सुना है कि प्रेगनेंसी के दौरान ही घी बनाना शुरू करते हैं, 25 किलो घी बनाते हैं ताकि पोस्ट डिलीवरी 40 दिनों में मदर इज टू हैव 25 kilos of ghee. So obviously mother will become 25 kilos more heavier, no? How can we give her that much? So that is not true. Ghee is not going to make you healthy. It will not make more milk. So just relax. Okay? अभी यहाँ पर इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आपकी डाइट बिल्कुल वैसे ही है, हेल्दी है. आपकी बॉडी को रिकवर करना है तो डू नॉट क्रैश डाइट. अपना वेइंग स्केल ऐसे नहीं देखो कि अरे अभी तक 10 किलो बचे हैं, अभी तक 8 किलो बचे हैं, मुझे डाइट करना है, मुझे मेरे भाई की शादी है तो आई वांट टू लूज वेट. डोंट डू दैट. आई हैव हर्ड दैट फ्रॉम अ लॉट ऑफ मदर्स. यू नो डिलीवरी हुई नहीं, 2 महीने बाद शादी है, आई वांट टू लुक माय बेस्ट, सो आप मुझे डाइट दे दो. दैट इज नॉट गुड. प्रेगनेंसी में 9 months लगे वेट बढ़ने के लिए, कुछ तो समय लगेगा for your weight to go down gradually.
When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment. Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all. When you start learning again. Or with a new role. Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank, Cord Life. One chance, one choice.
बहुत ही स्पेशल, राइट? आई मीन आपने आज इतनी सारी चीजें सीखी, बट उसके अलावा भी देयर इज अ बोनस. आपके लिए एक स्पेशल गिफ्ट है मामा अर्थ और कॉर्ड लाइफ के द्वारा. मामा अर्थ एक नेचुरल इंग्रेडिएंट से बना हुआ ब्रांड है फॉर मैटरनिटी एंड बेबी केयर प्रोडक्ट्स. सो अगर आप यू नो स्ट्रेच मार्क्स क्रीम चाहते हैं, बॉडी मॉइस्चराइजर्स चाहते हैं, या बेबी के लिए आगे चल के आपको मसाज ऑयल चाहिए, निपल क्रीम चाहिए, तो ये मामा अर्थ के ब्रांड से आपको बहुत आसानी से मिल जाएगी. तो कॉर्ड लाइफ की टीम आपके साथ टच में रहेगी 48 to 72 आवर्स इस सेशन के बाद, और ये वाउचर आपको प्रेजेंट करेगी ताकि आप अपनी थोड़ी बहुत इंडल्जेंट शॉपिंग कर सकते हैं। ये कुछ बुक्स हैं जो मैंने लिखे हैं एंड दे आर इन द मार्केट, यू कैन गेट देम ऑन Amazon. So prenatal fitness is exercises for pregnancy and post delivery with pictures and full guidance and also nutrition. Parenting mantras is all for people after delivery. So बहुत छोटे छोटे crisp tidbits हैं on various things like sleep, toilet training, dental, yeah, breastfeeding वगैरह. So it's a must have for all new parents. And then there is a super mom's recipe book जब आपके बच्चे खाना खाना चालू करें. अभी हम we are open for questions, but just to let you know, मैंने सारे जो details है अपने personal coordinates यहाँ पर डाल दिए हैं. Website, Facebook and Instagram ID. I would love for you to follow me. I do a lot of fun stuff over there and I'm very regular with my posts. And मेरा YouTube का channel भी है जहाँ पर मैं बहुत videos डालती हूँ. It's a very active channel. So we would love for you to subscribe and learn from there as well. कॉड लाइफ के नंबर्स भी है स्क्रीन पे. प्लीज मेक अ नोट. अगर आप आपका वाउचर ना मिले, ये सेशन की रिकॉर्डिंग ना मिले, या अगर आप अपने लिए एक स्टेम सेल बैंकिंग के बारे में सीखने का सेशन बुक करना चाहते हैं, so you can definitely get in touch with the Quad Life team as well. And now I'll open up the questions, and Renu ma'am is still with me, so I'm sure she'll be very happy to answer all your questions. Just give me a second. Okay. So, ma'am, I think पहला question आ गया है that what should we not eat during pregnancy?
I think we had a long list of you giving so much of list what not to have. Actually, there is the prohibition is only on alcohol. That what I can say prohibit. No, big no, a big cross is only alcohol. The rest of the things there are few things that you can have in moderation, like coffee, 2 to 3 cups, and junk food. I'm not saying don't have your ice cream, don't have your coffee, don't have your pizza or burger. Just limit the intake. That is all that we want. Just limit the intake to maybe once in a week or twice in a week or something like that. Don't indulge yourself and don't eat it every day. Otherwise, in our dictionary, in the medical dictionary, there is nothing that you cannot eat in pregnancy. Unpasteurized food, meats which are not properly done or properly preserved, and uncooked food, raw food from sources where you don't rely on, salads, street food. Just be careful while eating them. That is all that we say.
Okay, lovely. So the next question, I'll read it in entirety. And it is multiple questions, so I'll go one by one. So she starts with saying, thank you, Dr. Renu. Firstly, would you be able to shed some light on COVID-19 vaccination and pregnant women?
Okay. COVID-19 vaccination, none of the vaccines is as of now approved or for the use on pregnant mothers. So for now, the pregnant mothers are not advised not to take the vaccines. They can take the vaccine as soon as they have delivered. You can go on after delivery, take the vaccine. You can breastfeed after taking the vaccination. There are no contraindications. If you are planning a pregnancy, still you can take the vaccination. It is only once you have learned that you are pregnant, please don't take the vaccination as of now. It is not that there are any harmful effects that we have recorded. It's just that we don't have enough data or any trials on pregnant mothers.
Okay. All right. The second question from this mother is, what scans and appointments should a pregnant woman prioritize given the COVID-19 scenario?
Yeah, there are a few ultrasounds of pregnancy which are an absolute must, like absolute must. And one of those scan is what we call the anomaly scan or the level 2 scan, which is done around 19-20 weeks of pregnancy. That is an absolute must, which you should not, forget to get done, and it is very essential. The second category, like अगर कुछ नहीं करना है तो कम से कम एक anomaly scan करना है. That is the basic minimum, but that is not usually enough. What I suggest to my patients is the first trimester scan at 11 to 12 weeks is very important. A dating scan in early pregnancy is also important, but if you are not able to do it at least at 11-12 weeks, we need that scan compulsorily. 1. 2 is the anomaly scan. 3 is one of the growth scans, maybe at 28 weeks, maybe 30 weeks, maybe 32 weeks, one growth scan there, and one maybe at the end of the pregnancy. These are actually the most important ones. And given the pandemic situation, basic minimum is first trimester, that the level 1 scan, the level 2 scan or the anomaly scan, and a growth scan.
Okay. All right. Then she has the third question, which is saying, can you give us any suggestions or advice on how to prepare for childbirth?
Well, there are 2-3 things that I would like to say, which I can say on the phone. I mean, not demonstrate or anything. That one is a positive frame of mind. Be positive. Trust your doctor. I would urge you to do that. Every doctor will always act in your benefit. A doctor may be a bad person. There are good and bad persons in the world, but nobody is a bad doctor. They're always good for the patient. I haven't met any person who thinks anything wrong about the patient. Okay, so trust your doctor, trust your instinct. Don't listen to fads. Don't follow fads. Don't listen to everybody, because people will keep on giving you so much of advice which is unwarranted. Don't compare yourself with your friend, your sister, your previous pregnancies. 2 pregnancies in the same lady are totally different. So don't compare them. What helps is that you should be eating right. You should not gain a lot of weight. You should be exercising regularly. There are few exercises like squats, like lunges, like walks in the last trimester especially, which do help in having a normal delivery. But other than that, these ideas that having this kind of a sauna or eating this food may cause normal delivery, that is not true. The normal delivery does depend on the position of the baby, the capacity of your pelvis. So these are large, big, important parameters to consider. So that is why your obstetrician's advice on that is the best.
All right. So the next question, ma'am, says, I feel constipated sometimes. What can I do for easy relief?
Yeah, constipation is very common in pregnancy. This is because of the hormonal changes in the body, which also slow down your gut. So what you have to do to relieve constipation naturally is drink lots of water. 2, have enough roughage diet. There should be enough fruits and vegetables and salads in your diet. 3, if not these 2 are not working, a glass of warm milk may work sometimes. And natural foods like isabgol is a very good, very helpful in relieving the bowel. And also there are things like prunes which help a lot in relieving the constipation. There are some over-the-counter drugs that do come that are handy in pregnancy, like Softovac, like Dufalac syrup, or some of these may help if nothing else works.
Right. Okay. My next question for you, ma'am, is from a mother who's asking, please suggest some exercises to induce natural labor pains so that I can have a normal delivery.
I think I told you in the question before also, there are some breathing techniques, there are some exercises, you can go on the net, you can search them. There are lunges, there are squats, there are some pelvic exercises, some yogas, which can help you to prepare your pelvis for a normal delivery. You can do those exercises regularly in the 3rd trimester, and that is what usually helps.
All right. Okay. So I have a question from a mother, and she's addressed it to me. So I will answer that. She wants to know what are the sources of calcium for those who cannot consume milk or are lactose intolerant. So there is green leafy vegetables, and I've also mentioned on my slides that you can have things like sesame seeds, jaggery, nachni. You also get calcium fortified soy milk. So that is something that you could include in your diet. What I would suggest is that if you are lactose intolerant and it is genuine lactose intolerant, then you should consult with a dietitian so that you can get a proper plan as per your requirements. But some people are marginally lactose intolerant in the sense that they cannot have direct milk, but they can have things like curds, lassi, paneer, and etc. So you'll have to experiment. So if that is something which is possible, then even having adequate curds and lassi is good enough, and you can easily get through your pregnancy and post-delivery requirement. All right, ma'am, there's another question from a mother who's asking, if a woman doesn't exercise enough, can she still go for a normal delivery and bear the pains?
Yes, definitely. Yes. I told you, if your pelvis is good, if the baby is in the right position, yes. Yes to both.
Yeah. So
If
I've actually
you exercise or not, you can go for a normal delivery.
So I have had this question, from mothers. Sometimes they're on bed rest, for many, many months. They're not even allowed to get out of the bed. But they still go ahead and have normal deliveries. So it's a lot dependent on, of course, the physical aspects, but it's also the power of the mind. If you are going to tell yourself, oh my God, it's going to be horrible, I can't do it, then you can't do it. But if you say, okay, the whole world is doing it, half the world is women, then why can't I do it? I am normal, right? So you give yourself that positive touch, that will help you. Okay. I have another question now from a mother who's saying, I am 8.5 months pregnant. Last Monday, I have been diagnosed as COVID positive. What do I do?
We are getting lots of mothers these days, lots of them, about more than 50%, because the COVID pandemic has spread so much. And my advice to you is, one, don't panic. There is nothing to panic about. You have still a lot of time to go for the delivery. And even if you go into labor at any stage, there's nothing wrong. We do deliver COVID positive patients because there is no other way. Doctors, you have to, search for the doctor who will be available. If the hospital which is taking COVID patients, and the doctor should be available there and at that time. And secondly, you should be getting in touch with the physician to prescribe the bare minimum medications what you need at this time. There may be some extra tests that are ordered because you are pregnant, advanced in pregnancy, because COVID does increase the tendency of having blood clots. So in pregnancy you are anyways prone to it. So there are certain tests which we do, there are certain medications which we prescribe. And also you have to buy an SpO2 monitor, a pulse oximeter to, see that your oxygenation levels are good. But the most important, don't panic. Nothing happens to the baby.
Right. So the same mother has continued her question saying that she has not had any growth scan now since the last 2 months. What can I do?
Once you're COVID positive, unfortunately, there are very less hospitals who will take you for an ultrasound scan. Like in Artemis, we do have a window wherein we create a gray corridor throughout the department and, kind of take the COVID patients only time. That is what it is called. And then the whole place is sanitized again and, done. And there is a specific time and a specific place where the COVID patients are taken. So you may look up for hospitals who do that if you are worried about the growth of the baby, and inform the hospital and the obstetrician and the radiologist beforehand that the patient is coming. Like, for example, yesterday a patient of mine came with bleeding and I had to do the scan and she was COVID positive. So that is how we planned the whole thing. We called her at a particular time which was available. We called her to the COVID emergency. We took her from there to the ultrasound scan. The doctor was prepared with a PPE suit. The room that is for COVID patients only, she was taken up there and then she was monitored. Then we did an ultrasound. Thankfully, the baby was all right. So we shifted her back and then sent her home with some medication.
Wonderful. All right. So I think I have one last question which is there in this, and it seems to be a very specific question. So I think I will help her with this answer. Her first part of her question is asking about exercises that she can do. Ma'am, I have given you my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel links. I've also given you the details of my exercise book, which is Prenatal Fitness 360. I would recommend that you pick up the book and you also kind of, try to source the exercises on these channels. But make sure that you have permission from the doctor before you do anything. If you want any supervised classes, you can get in touch with me through my website or through my Instagram DM. I will guide you to trainers who are doing online classes, and then you can get taken care of. The last question that this particular mother has is that she's also hypothyroid. So for hypothyroid patients, ma'am, you need to follow the instructions given by your doctor and your endocrinologist, because you will be prescribed your medications. You must take that particularly, and whatever diet is prescribed by them, you please follow that. Please don't kind of, take it lightly, because it can affect the developing baby. So you have to maintain your levels, and that's very, very important.
Let me add one thing to that hypothyroid thing. There are many myths about the diet in hypothyroid. There isn't much in diet that helps you with hypothyroidism. It is mostly your medication that you have to be very particular with. And like Sonali rightly said, the thyroid levels in pregnancy, the TSH levels have to be maintained at a particular point, and we should aim at doing that. And those levels are very different for normal, as in what is normal for the other patients. The levels for pregnant mothers are quite less than what is normal for the other patients.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So if there are any questions, please put them in the chat. I have a mother who's asking, can I talk right now? I'm really sorry. The talking facility is not available in this webinar. You will have to post your question in the chat, or you can then otherwise ask your question when you go for your next checkup to the doctor. If there is any feedback from any of the participants, we would love for you to share it in the chat. I would like to thank Dr. Renu for giving so much of her precious time and giving all of your valuable. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to CordLife for arranging this session, and thank you to all the parents who participated in the session today. So have a great Sunday. Have a safe pregnancy. We are all in very trying times. Yeah, we are all in.
Please be careful.
Very, very trying times, and it's.
And yes, one thing I just want to tell all my viewers. I just got my mask. Please wear your mask properly, like this. And pinch your nose like this, so that the mask stays on your face. It should not be here. It should not be here. It's no use wearing a mask like this. Even if it is here, it is no use wearing a mask like this. Please wear your masks like this. When you have to take them off from the ears and not from the mask. Please don't keep touching your mask. Please don't keep pulling it up and down, because that is hard. What is the most important thing in COVID, and that is the only thing that we can do to prevent COVID from spreading. Right. And yes, don't think that this is my brother and my sister or my husband. I cannot get it from him. If he is going out and he is not being careful, he is the culprit and he is going to give it to you.
Right. All right. Wonderful. So on that very positive note, we shall call it a wrap today. Thank you everybody for joining us. We hope you had a valuable Sunday morning, and wish you all the very best and a very safe and healthy pregnancy and happy parenting. That's very, very important, right? Thank you.
When is a parent born? When your world changes in a moment. Nani? Or when the moment is celebrated by all. When you start learning again. Or with a new role. Is it your child's first breath? Or is it just a feeling? Parents are born when they fulfill a responsibility.
Your child's umbilical cord blood can provide protection from 80 life-threatening diseases. Keep it safe with Asia's largest stem cell bank, CordLife. One chance, one choice.